Namaste. Myself Triveni Khurana, Assistant Professor, Faculty Physiotherapy and Diagnostics. Today we are going to know about the special test used in neurological conditions. Special test means the various investigatory procedures which are used in neurological conditions, under which the one is skull and spinal X-ray. Skull and spinal X-ray reveal the size and shape of the skull bones, suture separation in infants, fractures or bony defects, erosion or calcification. It is also used to identify fractures, dislocation, compression, curvature, erosion, narrowed spinal cord, and degenerative processes. Next we have computed tomography scan, that is CT scan. It is a type of brain scanning that may or may not require an injection of a dye. It is used to detect intracranial bleeding, space occupying lesions, cerebral edema, infarctions, hydrocephalus, cerebral atrophy, and shifts of brain structures. Now, what is the implementation pre-procedure? It is by obtaining a consent if a dye is used. Next, to assess for allergies to iodine, contrast dyes, or shellfish if a dye is used. Next, to instruct the patient in the need to lie still and flat during the test. Next, to remove objects from the head such as wigs, barrettes, earrings, and hairpins. Also assess for claustrophobia. Next, to inform the patient if possible mechanical noises as the scanning occurs. Next, to inform the patient that there may be a hot, flushed sensation and a metallic taste in the mouth when the dye is injected. Note that some patients may be given the dye even if they report an allergy and are treated with antihistamine and corticosteroids prior to the injection to reduce the severity of a reaction. Next, to provide replacement fluids because diuresis from the dye is expected. Should monitor for an allergic reaction to dye. Should assess dye injection site for bleeding or hematoma and monitor extremity for color, warmth, and the presence of distal pulses. Next investigation we have magnetic resonance imaging, that is MRI. MRI, it is a non-invasive procedure that identifies types of tissue, tumors, and vascular abnormalities. It is similar to CT scan but provides more detailed pictures and does not expose the patient to ionizing radiation. Now, what is the implementation pre-procedure for this? First, remove all metal objects from the patient. Next, determine if patient has a pacemaker, implement a defibrillator, or metal implants such as a hip prosthesis or vascular clips, because these patients cannot have this test performed. Next, instruct the patient that he or she will need to remain still during the procedure. Now, the next investigation we have lumbar puncture. In this, insertion of a spinal needle through L3 L4 interspace into the lumbar subarachnoid space to obtain cerebrospinal fluid, measure CSF fluid or pressure, or instill air dye, or medications. It is contraindicated in patients with increased intracranial pressure because the procedure will cause a rapid decrease in pressure within the cerebrospinal fluid around the spinal cord, which leads to brain herniation. Now, what is the implementation during the lumbar puncture? Position the patient in a lateral recumbent position and have the patient draw knees up to the abdomen and chin onto the chest. Next, assist with the collection of specimens and label the specimen in sequence and maintain strict asepsis. Now, next investigation we have myelogram. Myelogram, in this, injection of dye or air into the subarachnoid space to detect abnormalities of spinal cord and vertebrae. Now, what is EMG? The entire purpose of electrodiagnostic studies is to help figure out whether there is a problem in the nervous system, and if so, where the problem is occurring. Now, what is NCV? It is the nerve conduction studies, and NCVs are done by placing electrodes on the skin and stimulating the nerves through electrical impulses. What is the process of NCS? To study motor nerves, electrodes are placed over a muscle that receives its innervation from the nerves that want to test, that is the stimulation. Next, the electrical response of the muscle is then recorded and can determine both how fast and how well the nerve responded. This can determine whether the problem stems from a nerve or muscle. NCS are broken into motor nerve conduction testing, and the second category it is sensory nerve conducting testing. It can be performed on any accessible nerve, including peripheral nerves and cranial nerves. Basically, findings are generally twofold. How fast is the impulse traveling, and what does the electrical representation of the nerve stimulation, that is action potential morphology, look like on the screen. Now, the EMG. EMG or electromyography is the process by which an examiner puts a needle into a particular muscle and studies the electrical activity of that muscle. Electrical activity comes from the muscle itself. No shocks are used to stimulate the muscle and does not actually test nerves, however does test nerves indirectly by testing the muscles. In this, observation and recording of brain, which are measured expression of electrical activity of brain, and it could be unipolar or bipolar. Unipolar, where reference point is fixed, and bipolar, when the voltage recorded lies near to the scalp or brain. Now, next is EEG. EEG has 10 to 20 standardized placement system. Electrodes placed on anatomic location and 8 to 20 wavelines are graphed. There are 3 basic parameters that are recorded in EEG waves. These are amplitude, frequency and time. Amplitude, it measurement of electrical height, which is ranges from 0 to 200 mu volt. Now, frequency, it is no number of times per second the wave touches the zero voltage line, and it is the degree of activity of cerebral cortex, and the time plotted on x-axis. Sudden development of delta waves coincident with the surgical maneuver showing injury. In Nimura region, EEG poorly predict brain damage. Anesthetics and hypothermia causes EEG changes, which is a multifactorial interpretation. It is useful in monitoring the functional integrity of neural structures that may be at risk. It is also useful in identification of specific structures. It monitors the effects of specific agents and other drugs that affect nervous system. It diagnoses and monitors pathophysiological neurological conditions. The EEG machine records tiny electrical voltages from the brain, representing the average electrical activity of millions of neurons. But evoked potentials are triggered, and these are specific. Now, what are evoked potentials? These are the electrical potentials produced after stimulation of specific neural tracts. The recorded plot of voltage versus time initial artifact representing the stimulation of the tract, followed by neuronal response, which is recorded as a series of peaks and valleys. Many times signals are small, which is an amplifier reduces the electrical noise by subtracting the signal at a reference electrode from the recording electrode. Filtering of this signal, we focus on evoked response of interest. Evoked potentials are of three types: sensory evoked potentials, motor evoked potentials, and event related potentials. Sensory evoked potentials further divided into visual evoked potential, auditory evoked potential, and somatosensory evoked potential. Clinically, evoked potentials are used for brainstem auditory, that is called BAEP. Next is visual, which is known as VEP, and SEP, which is somatosensory. And these are used mainly for assessment for clinically silent lesions in possible multiple sclerosis, and also useful for the visual loss that might be due to optic neuritis. And it is also useful for assessment of brain functions in neonates. Brainstem auditory evoked potentials recorded from the ear and scalp in response to brief auditory stimulation. It assesses conduction of the impulse through the auditory pathway up to the midbrain. Now, what is the use of brainstem auditory evoked potential? It is used to assess hearing in uncooperative patient and very young children. It detects degree of hearing loss in infants. It is used to assess functions of the mid part of the brain. Now, what is visual evoked potential? Visual evoked potential recorded from the occipital region in response to visual stimuli. A normal cortical response is recorded when the entire visual pathway is normal. Visual evoked potential can only detect the abnormalities but cannot exactly localize the site of lesion in the visual pathway.